What's going on, Cowboy Nation? I just wanted to talk about some of these key points that I've seen in regards to the game film and looking at the all 22. I was kind of just able to fly through it and look at a couple things. So let's get straight into it. So let's talk about Guyton real quick. Some of the plays that I seen, that it looked like it could have been Guyton's fault during the game wasn't his fault. Actually, of course, there was a couple things with Guyton that we know that is his downfall, which is, his placement, hand placement, and his strength. Them are the two biggest things right now that once he get them down, don't worry, Cowboy Nation, he'll be solid because, I'm going to just keep it real, because, we got to take things into perspective, right? Tyler Smith is not a left tackle, right? Although at this point in time in his career, he's a better left tackle than Guyton. There's a reason why Guyton was drafted. And there was, like I said, and there was some mistakes in the game that you've seen that wasn't on Guyton. It was either Dak was holding the ball too long, or even the wide receivers, I think, was supposed to make a little a block. Or I think it was like a crack block. Was it a crack block? I forgot. But one of them was a wide receivers. One of them, he got tripped up by Tyler Smith and got beat, right? So there were some things in regards to that film that you can be encouraged about. See, one thing I know for sure in looking at these 5 games with Guyton, and when it comes down to the run game, it's not an issue with him. The reason why, because let's be honest, with Tyler Smith at tackle, the running game didn't look any different. And actually, I did see Tyler Smith on a couple plays get beat. Right, he got beat on the inside release. One of the defenders got the edge on him a little bit. So if y'all talking about the replacement is supposed to be better, right, which is Tyler Smith, then he got beat too. So what that say, right? Right now, Tyler Smith is a stronger player, and you see it on this display. He's a stronger player. At this point in time, probably this game, it actually probably wouldn't help. It probably would help with him possibly being there. But like I said, long-term wise, Guyton, you just gotta be patient, y'all. Just look ugly. Like, you used to your tackles coming in right away and being productive. That's just not the case. You remember Terrence Steele, was getting dogged out something crucial before, he started having his good year. So, it just be a little patient, y'all. Just trust me. Like, what I'm seeing on the film ain't nothing like, So just trust me. There's some things that he just gonna have to clean up. That, I don't know if he's gonna miss this game, but it'll probably be better for him to miss this game and to just come back in the bye week after the bye. I don't think it's serious, but that'll be probably his best bet. Overshown brought energy early and often, but is that even something that we need to talk about? Because he usually does that. I'm looking at some of the alignments of the defense of the front seven. I'm like, especially how banged up he is, could we possibly see a little bit of 34? Y'all remember when we talked about that? It was about a week and a half ago, maybe 2. Could we possibly see some 34 looks, some more 34 looks? That might be ideal. Linval Joseph had a solid game. Linval had a solid game. It wasn't just that splash play that he made that put that guard on his back and got in there and forced a fumble. All game, Linval had a solid game. Mozzie Smith, this is my thing with Mozzie Smith, right? It's not a lack of effort. He's just not big enough. His strike doesn't have the pop. It doesn't have the shock that it should have as a D tackle. So we pretty much came down to the conclusion of this. Either you gonna put that weight back on, or he gonna be a bust. There's no way that Monty can sustain being that light and being in the trenches and doing what's gonna be asked for him. There's just no way. So either you put the Michigan weight back on and quit being stubborn, or his Cowboy days is numbered. Because even when him so-called playing improved, it's still not good enough. It's still not good enough. It's not for your one tick, not for your zero technique, right? Because there's some things that when I seen, like if he was heavier, 15 pounds heavier or so, that probably would have stood him up, right? So I think in regards to what he's doing, I think his problem, well, I know his problem is that weight. You got to put that weight back on. You're going to have to get 330 plus. That's your only way. Now, he did make one play that you wouldn't normally want to go ahead and have your D tackles make, but he made it, right? He crossed over the gap when the flow was going the opposite way, but he got into play. I think that's why when he makes a play like that, I think that's in his head, it justifies him being at that weight. In our reality, it's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt your career. You are a big boy. Your game is big boy-like. So you having little boy weight on you, it's not going to cut it. So I hope you watching, and I hope you decide to fix that so we could truly see, like, did you got something or what? Because this weight thing that you got going on, Mozzie, is ridiculous. You're going to have to eat, son. You're going to have to eat. Tyrus Wheat played strong on the edge. The defensive ends in general stayed home. Fought to contain the edge. Very good. Like probably the best performance from the defensive ends. Yeah, the best performance from your defensive ends all year. I like the way they fought. The D tackles fought. They played a little bit better than they did against the Giants game as far as doing what they came to do. Like, in regards to a game plan like that, right? Because they can do that against like the Commanders and other teams that have quarterbacks that want to escape the pocket. So that game plan that they put in for Fields, that will work in the future as well. But there's going to be some quarterbacks that you're going to have to get to that if they ain't bringing the heat, it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be a struggle. Number 35, Leofow did well by Zimmer, including him in and helping contain the edge. I seen him fight to contain the edge. He did pretty well on that. Gotta give him that. He did pretty well on that. So going back and looking, Mike did call a solid game. I said that it was a drive. I think Mike called a solid game in regards to the commitment to the run. I like how he tried to, for the most part, you've seen a lot of four wide. You've seen a lot of four wide out there trying to spread the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I do like that. So that game plan, and he'll go ahead and he'll have some chips. He chipped the left side when Guyton was in there. He chipped with Steele. They'll even fake chip and then be involved in the play. That worked that worked a few times. That worked on the screenplay. That worked on a Texas route? Was it a Texas route? I think it was a Texas route. But solid play call for what you had. For what you had, it was some solid play calling. Solid play calling. You have no explosion, especially with Cooks out. So for what he had, I say that he called a pretty solid game. So I take that back, y'all. He called a pretty solid game from what I seen. Zeke, that boy fried, man. Zeke is fried. That burst, like when I say when I keep telling y'all that boy lost 3-4 steps, that boy lost 3-4 steps. Zeke, Man, hey, look, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think your fullback probably move better than him right now. I'm being honest. I think your fullback move better than him. There's a reason why I seen something talking about Zeke getting more carries is a no go. I can see that. I was looking at that burst. I'm like, damn, he do not look the same at all. It'd be one thing, but like, yeah, he lost a step or two, but man, he lost more than a step or two. They gonna have to figure something out, man. They gonna have to figure something out. Uh, they really gonna have to figure something out. But like I said, what got us to driving down was that commitment to the run. Like Mike not abandoning the run, that was very good. Like we knew that banging it up the middle, it was gonna be some tough sledding with that front with Pittsburgh. We knew there was gonna be some tough sledding up in there, right? But we did know that there was gonna be some chances, off tackle on the perimeter, and there were some things where they was able to bang out some things kind of on that perimeter, when it came down to their longer runs. But we just knew it was gonna be tough sledding. And even with the tough sledding, you still what? They still had over 100 yards. Yeah, they still had 100 yards. I can't remember the total, but they had over 100 yards. So that's good. That's what you want. Dominate that. Remember how I was talking about them, that 15 play drive that they had? You're going to need more of that. You're going to need more of that. I've seen a lot of the times where, they was like, Pittsburgh like, hey, Dak, beat us. Can you work it down? Can you work it down the field? Can you work it down the field? Now, I wouldn't say Dak Prescott worked it down the field, but we was able to get enough offense, to, how could I say it? Keep them honest, keep them playing, not go without the game plan because, this is a team that can't play from behind. You don't have the firepower to play from behind. So we're going to have to muck it up. Like the game that you played, the game that you seen on Sunday night is a game that you're going to have to play for a little while. Well, probably maybe the whole season. You're going to have to muck it up. It's going to look ugly. It's going to have some ugly wins, if you get them. Right? That's how you got to play football. It's just going to be ugly. You just got to do what you got to do. You got to continue to fight and claw. You're battle tested. You done seen some good defenses. So hopefully maybe those offenses can build on that. Wouldn't say that you've seen some elite offenses because this is the best offense that you're going to see. Yeah, this is the best offense that you're going to see coming up in Detroit, and with our defensive ends being the way that they are, I would expect for them to use a lot of Jahmyr Gibbs. So if you got Jahmyr Gibbs, make sure you start them because they're going to test that edge. Because you can see, like, the difference in, like, hey, even though the edge is they fighting, they trying to play strong, you can see the lack of athleticism there. You can see it. I do give a shout out to Ghostin. I seen Ghostin get up on there a few times playing strong. I even see Carl Lawson. He even had a couple of little good rushes, right? So it was a collective effort. I see like it was a different vibe with 11 not being there. I seen a team that was scrapping and trying to play together and fight to be able to try to come out with a victory. And as I mentioned before, last night in regards to the game ball, you got to give it to your defense because through all the turnovers that you had, through all the empty possessions that you had in the red zone, they continue to keep you in the game and gave you a chance to win at the end. And you did everything in your power to make sure that you was going to lose that game. And for some reason, you ended up winning the game. The offensive line, like I said, like even with some of the pressure that the Pittsburgh Steelers got, is still that pocket was still good. Like I don't know. Like I think they got this misconception that Dak doesn't have time. Dak has time, right? Now, whether it be Dak holding the ball too long, wide receivers not getting separation, or whatever the case may be, right? There's always a factor. But one thing I do know is that Dak's decision making is a little slow, it's a little off. His pocket feel is not there because there's no reason why, like on some of them times and downs, that Dak Prescott is holding the ball the way that he is, especially understanding the type of pass rush that he's going against. So that's an error in his judgment from the quarterback position. Dak did not play well, even though Dak got a win against a good defenses. Dak all year has not been playing well against good defenses. He's gonna have to correct that. He has another opportunity to correct it against the Lions because the Lions, they play some good defense. So he has another opportunity to correct that. But, from $60 million, it's good that he made the game-winning touchdown, made the game-winning throw, because that's important to be able to close out a game like that. Because Pittsburgh gave you a million reasons why you should still win, even with the turnovers that you had, even though they should have took advantage, but they just don't have the offense to take advantage of with the quarterback being the way that they got without Russell Wilson in the mix, But it was just an ugly, mucked up game, ugly, mucked up game, man. In regards to like the weapons, like you still got your 1 and 2 weapons, like contrary to belief. Like people think that Cooks is the number 2 option, but really is J-Hop the number 2 option. So it's really CD J-Hop, and then it would have been Cooks, So, it was good that Tolbert stepped up, made a chunk play, scored the game-winning TD. Right, it's good. Like that's what you want from him. You want when you call his number, when you call his name. He steps up. He steps up and make a play, right? Like occasionally, like with Terrence Williams, like we want somebody that against Detroit that can crib it. We want somebody against Seattle that can toe touch it, make a play. That's what we need from Tolbert. Them Terrence Williams splash plays that he used to give us occasionally. That's what we want. That's what you need. Right. Now Turpin, like I said, even though Turpin made his little, he made his hay a little earlier, you would still like to see that field being stretched out a little bit more than what it's doing. You're going to have to open this up. You're going to have to use that speed from Turpin. I know that's pretty much all you got in regards to, Speedy. Speed on the perimeter because Cook's out for a month. CD ain't no burner. Tolbert ain't no burner, right? Brooks ain't no burner. Florino ain't no burner. You ain't got no burner for tight end. You may got a young athletic tight end, but evidently they ain't confident in him. He ain't ready. And I'm talking about Stevens. So your only burner that you're going to have to use him like the Rams occasionally use Tutu Atwell. I don't know if you guys familiar with him, but you should be from last year, but you're going to have to occasionally kind of, open that thing up a little bit. Give the running room some breathing room, right? Some elbow room, because we don't have it. But that don't fall on your offensive coordinator. That falls on your quarterback too, because like I'm looking at that red zone pick. Man, that was horrific. That was horrible. That was a horrible decision. That the DB was just sitting on that, just chilling, and he just threw that. I'm like, you don't see that? Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. Now, granted, I guess he make up for one of them turnovers by saving Rico with his sloppy play in regards to him dropping the ball. But things gonna have to be a little bit better. Like you have to play to a whole nother level against Detroit, y'all. I'm just keeping it real. Like Detroit they could put up 40 on you. They got capability of putting 40. That capability of you know, making things a little bit rough for you on that defensive side, right? One of Detroit's things was addressing that secondary, and Detroit addressed that secondary, you know. So you're gonna have to get ready to play some ball. You know, you're gonna have to get ready to muck it up. You're gonna have to get ready to match physicality with physicality because they want to lean on you. That's for sure. With Montgomery and Gibbs, they want to lean on you, right? Now with Pittsburgh, now like we said, like they play a lot of condensed formations. They offensive line ain't the best. Najee Harris ain't explosive, and the explosive running backs, they were hurt. Fields, you want to make him a passer. So like this was like to muck it up. This was a perfect opportunity to get a win like that, right? Because, I don't want to take y'all shine. I don't want to take it like it was just horrible, but let's be real. This win, it ain't all that. It's a good win. I'm not going to say it ain't a good win. I still stand on what I said last night. It's a good win. But we understand what was in front of us. We understand how we've been playing, and we understand that we didn't have – it's kind of like the Giants. Kind of like the Giants game, right? Like we knew like some of the – even though they playing better, we knew like that's a winnable game. And I knew that the Pittsburgh Steelers was also a winnable game, with what they had on offense. Now, if you want to impress me, beat the Lions. If you want to impress me, beat the Lions. If they beat the Lions, you'll hear my tune change. If they beat the Lions. That's all I'm going to say. But that's some of the things in regards to kind of like what I seen on that film. If I got time, I'll dig in it again and really pay more attention to, the back end and the receivers. Even though I did watch, even though I still did watch them, even though I still watched everybody, but when I watch it multiple times, I usually key in on like the fronts, and then I key in on the back end and the wide, the second time around, because, of course, even though you watch it, there's sometimes you're like, oh, I didn't realize that. Just like when we doing film, I'm like, I probably didn't watch the play maybe a couple of times, but then when I'm watching it again, you realize something else like, oh, so, you always want to go ahead and be on point with that. But, yeah, that's just it. Like, with Tyler Smith, like I said, it'll be an improvement in certain aspects, though, but it wasn't what you it wasn't what you thought it was. Like, he's strong. That's for sure. But he's still a guard. He's still a guard. I know people may want him at tackle, but he's still a guard. Got to give a shout out to, the interior. The Bass filled in pretty nice for him. Bass did a solid job. BB, he got beat early, but he recovered and he played solid. Like, that power center that we've been talking about all season, it's coming to help this team out. Like if you didn't have no power center, you probably would have maybe one win. If you didn't have a power center, just being real. BB's presence, even though he's a rookie, he's a strong presence, and it allows for everything to form. It allows for Dak to step up and not have somebody in his face. Even though Dak a lot of times chooses not to step up for whatever his reason be, because sometimes you can help out Guyton. You can help out Steele. You're not about to just have a clean pocket, right? If he maneuvers, like him maneuvering in the pocket better could even buy him another second and a half to go ahead and make that throw and help out. Now, we asked for Dak to run, but we seeing his legs is not the business. Because that run on the edge, his clumsy ass, when he got tripped up, I said, yeah, I don't think I even need to ask Dak to run no more. I see why that they really don't run that read option. Because that boy is slow in the mud. That boy's slow. That, man, I don't know what happened. I watched the deterioration of some athleticism and from like a year and a half ago. Like, that's crazy how slow he is. So, and unfortunately, Dak ain't no pocket passer. So the Cowboys might be limited in the future, y'all, in regards to that as well. So I guess I got to stop asking for him to run because that boy cannot run. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this game in the comment section. Till the next time, y'all, we gone.